90 minutes out of Antigua is the easily accessible Volcan Pacaya. Climbing the other nearby volcano, Acatenango, with its view of the Volcan de Fuego erupting, is more strenuous and usually requires an overnight backpack. The climb up to Pacaya's lava field is moderate, and one can always pay 100 quetzales to take one of the four-legged taxis being offered along the trail. At the viewpoint below the towering cone, our guide Walter explained the history of Pacaya that last erupted in June of 2015, but continues to have intermittent lava emissions and fountaining. Out on the cooled lava field, our guide removed some surface rocks and gingerly picked up a jagged rock from about 6 inches deep. He handed it to us to pass around, and it was indeed hot, forcing us to bounce it from palm to palm to keep from being burned. Producing a package of marshmallows, he invited us to roast them in a shallow hole that he had dug.
Okay, we have now 15 minutes here. Yeah. Let's stop here. You have...
There was even a souvenir shop in a thatched hut out on the lava field. It sold knickknacks made with natural materials and cooled lava. The shop was made such that it was easy to dismantle and move, and when I asked them how many times they'd had to move in the past 6 months due to the lava flow, he stated, 3 veces, 3 times. Also just a day trip from Antigua is Zumpango. During my second trip, I arrived a few days before November 1st, Dia de Todos Santos, All Saints' Day, with the purpose of observing Guatemalan activities for the holiday. Zumpango is known for the construction of huge kites called barriletes. A soccer field holds thousands of people, and booths serve foods of all kinds to the crowds of men, women, and children. The barriletes are decorated with political and social themes, and although they are not flown, they are judged for their artistry and message. A trip to the cemetery in Zumpango involves a shoulder-to-shoulder push down a winding street. The cemetery is festooned with brilliant colors, with tombs and graves decorated with marigolds and other flowers. The scent of copal and incense permeates the air as families clean, decorate, and hold vigil next to their departed loved ones. When I returned to Antigua that day, Catholicism was having its own All Saints' Day celebration. The contrast between the vibrant colors and high-flying kites of Zumpango and the church's solemn, dark-robed procession of the statue of Mary with Jesus' coffin could not have been more stark. The devout of Antigua bent the knee at the approach of the statue, preceded by robed acolytes with staffs and banners. Censers of incense were burned and the fragrant smoke filled the street. Around the corner came the center of the worship, being rocked gently and held upon the shoulders of up to 80 men and women. Following the Virgin Mary were musicians playing slow, dirge-like music. This procession would follow the cobblestone streets around the city, including its Parque Central, and return later that night to the church of San Francisco el Grande. Rio Dulce, Sweet River, on Guatemalan's eastern side, is a 4 to 5 hour drive from the capital depending on traffic. The route takes you through mountains, valleys, and tropical groves. Since it is Guatemala's only connection to the eastern coast, the highway is used by all: semi-trailers, taxis, vans, motorcycles, tuk-tuks, and pedestrians. As you get closer to your destination, you notice the tropical fruits being sold at stands stationed regularly along the highway. The land flattens out, and there are banana plantations on each side. From Rio Dulce, it is possible to take a boat that heads east towards the Caribbean coast and the town of Livingston, but my tour was only to the castle and the hot water falls of Finca Paraíso. My guide Julio left me with a beer at a dockside restaurant and went to arrange my trip to the castle by boat. Soon I was directed to the dock where a sweet little girl who was helping her dad assisted me in boarding the boat. The weather was humid, but there was no direct sunlight, so it was very comfortable. The castle, San Felipe de Lara, was built centuries ago to establish a Spanish military presence to help ward off piracy. It now occupies a strategic point of land inside a beautiful park and has been restored with great care. The waterfalls of Finca Paraíso lie a few miles from the town of Rio Dulce and are a short walk, about a third of a mile, into the jungle along a flowing river of about 10 to 20 feet across. As I walked to the falls, the smell of sulfur assailed my nostrils, and stepping down to the water's edge, I could see bubbles welling up from below. I touched the heated water and was surprised at its temperature.
Mucho caliente.
1,000 feet further on, I was able to see the beautiful waterfalls that cascaded into a pool where several families were enjoying themselves. The falls themselves were the same hot water that had cooled in its journey over the edge and provided a warm shower to those below it. The temperature was about 90 degrees Fahrenheit. We headed back to Rio Dulce, slowed for some cattle causing a road hazard, bought some fruit to snack on, and stopped to speak with a young boy about his pet pizote, a white-nosed coati. Dinner provided the best bowl of fish soup I have ever had on this earth, which filled me up for the grueling gridlocked 7-hour drive back to Antigua. I hope that you've enjoyed my videos and that they inspire you to visit Guatemala. Please don't be shy about leaving me encouraging comments, and if you have any specific questions, I'd be happy to answer them. You may contact me through YouTube or directly at terraincognite@cox.net. Thank you for watching.